Okay, well, here we are. The cocktail has now been sitting for roughly 7 weeks. We're getting pretty close to the time when we're going to be ready to serve it. So what I've been doing now throughout this process is taking small samples and charting the progress of the drink. Because we were working with an unaged whiskey, there's a certain elements and flavor qualities that you get from an unaged whiskey. Well, that's part of the reason why we're leaving it in the barrel for a little bit longer. Let all the flavor that we started off in here start mellowing and start to blend itself together. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pop open the cork, and I'm going to start taking out some samples out of here with the straw. Put in the glass. I'm using a glass, but this is going to give us a chance that we can look at the color content of the drink, and we can go from there and start making our evaluations of what we have here. Alright, that should be plenty. Pop a cork on there. Alright, the first thing I want to do is go ahead and take a look at the color. It now has a nice kind of rosy brown color tint to it. I don't know how well that's picking up. But you can definitely tell that the drink is kind of blending itself together. You're getting, the kind of colors that you're hoping to get out of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and smell. I can still get a good bit of the corn whiskey, which obviously was the majority property to it. I can smell a little bit of the fat wash to it. But I can also pick up hints of the oak and hints of the mesquite that's in there. So now I'll go ahead and take a small taste. And I think we're getting pretty close there. You can obviously, you have the Manhattan qualities, but there is a certain amount of syrup type flavor to it. I can feel as if the vermouth and the maraschino liqueur are kind of giving a nice kind of syrup kind of quality to it. So you can get elements of that sweetness, but you still get the whiskey. You're still getting the fat wash that we did to the whiskey. So now, at this point, it could be served. I think what we're going to do though is we're going to keep it in here for a few more weeks. As I said, I definitely get the corn whiskey and the fat wash on there pretty prominent, and that's part of why we wanted to keep it in the barrel a little bit longer. To let that kind of mellow itself out. So what we'll be doing is what we have been doing, which is keeping it in various places throughout the bar, putting it outside for a little while, let this heat get to it. Right now we've been in 16 days straight of over 100-degree weather here in Houston, so that heat is actually great. It's going to help speed up the process. Also, what we're doing is that we're shaking the barrel, letting everything kind of move around. We're trying to get as much of the surface space hitting wood. That's where the flavor comes. That's why we added the wood chips. That's why we're shaking it. We're going to move everything around and bringing it in at night, let it be inside in the AC. All these different temperatures are going to add to the process and allow things to go. With that said, now we're also going to be starting to work on a couple new projects. Now that this is getting close to being ready, we can start working on our next project. So as this one's running out, we're going to have other ones that we can then replace it with. So one of the ones we'll be doing is we're going to take another barrel just like this from the guys out of Tuttleton, and we're going to put some Cabernet wine in there first. And we're going to coat the inside of the barrel with the Cabernet wine. So we'll probably leave that in there for 2-3 weeks, kind of get some good flavor. And then we're going to dump out not all but most of that Cabernet wine, and then we're going to go back and fill up the barrel with rye whiskey, with the Hudson rye whiskey, and let that sit in there, hopefully maybe another month or so. Now that we're already dealing with a finished product, instead of dealing with an unaged whiskey, we're actually dealing with a finished product out in the market. it's not going to need to sit in the barrel for as long. But basically what we want to do is we're going to give a Cabernet finish to the rye whiskey while we're having it finish in there. So it's not going to be so much of a cocktail, but we're going to add a slight flavor profile to something that's already, already chock full of a lot of flavor. So that's really what we're looking at in the future. We are going to be doing something for the fall with Maker's Mark. So right now, as this one's getting ready to be served, we're going to be looking forward to the next couple months, toying around with some different things, and go from there. So hopefully in about 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to go ahead and put the spigot on, and we'll start serving it. So stay tuned, and we'll go from there.